All right, welcome everyone to the Architecture Review Board work session. With that and the board members, I'll ask for any comments on 135 North Bompart.
I didn't have any comments on this one.
Clarification, hiding in the description on our agenda, it says renew front step landing. And I was interested in what the actual scope of work was. How is it going to be renewed? Yeah, I didn't see anything that specifically pointed that out. So I'd just like to know what exactly is proposed.
All right.
I had no comments.
All right. Anyone else?
New guy question maybe for 135 Bompart. It's it looks great. It's a lot of new hardscape. Is there any thing that we should be thinking about with regard to stormwater?
Typically not for the ARB review.
Okay. That was my only question.
Yeah, we hope that it's taken care of through the other channels.
Great.
Plan review.
Yep. All right, so next we have 101 Mason Avenue. This is a new door and light fixture.
No comments? No comments.
I had nothing.
Nope.
No, I did not either. That looked good. Those are public hearings, so they will both be reviewed in the regular meeting. On to our next one on our list. Tracy's going to recuse herself for 239 Simmons Avenue, new addition. And I believe we received a revised set of plans.
Got it.
At the start of the meeting. So with that, any comments from the board?
Yeah,
Yes.
my concern in the rear is this seems to be a very large addition to be up on posts. So I wanted to have a conversation about that. And then I'm also wondering why it's such a low slope roof. It's a 412. The existing house, which fits well into the neighborhood, looks like it has about somewhere between a 6 and 7 slope, as most of the other houses that are on the street. So I'm wondering why they went to such a low slope. And then it also seems like some interest could be added in the gables.
Okay, any comments, Jason?
I actually had the same comment about the foundations. I was wondering about the posts. I wouldn't want them to have a settlement or cause crackings.
Yeah. Potential top story issues.
Yeah.
My only comment was about the front elevation with the window placement. It seemed like there's this large empty bit in the middle that sets me off a bit. Like, oh, I wonder if the windows could be aligned with the windows on the porch below and push them together. I know the porch roof might get in the way, but it's something to talk about.
Yeah, or yeah, just something to break up that like blank expansive siding on the front.
I think it is well, actually in the revised plan, there's only one closet now, it looks like. But yeah, break it up too might be a solution.
I mean, I think the comment about the gable infill was something I had on my list as well. To maybe the introduction of a horizontal board to break that up. And I'm not sure if the siding's the same or not, but and then I had the same comment about the porch on the rear, and this kind of a question of there would be any infill lattice or something. Just to add to that conversation. And then a small thing that I had noted was considering, smaller windows in the front bedroom was a suggestion, on either side, along the sides. It was just. And that was it there. So with that, we can ask Tracy to come back in. All right, next on our list, we have 5 Nagel Court, new window. Any comments from the board?
No real comments. I think I put together by the number coding system that the front of the house window character will change a little bit. But it didn't seem to be out of character, in my opinion, from what's, in the neighborhood or there today.
Yeah, I had a similar comment about, or I don't know how you describe those windows, like a 4-stack and a 3-stack window. That would take character away by having just a single 1/1 double hung.
I think the one on the left is gonna be portions of the windows change a little bit. Isn't that the one that got like almost like a bay window style? It's kind of bigger in the middle and smaller on the sides.
This
Yeah, that is, it currently has 3 windows and it's proposed to go to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, actually.
Right, so.
Yeah, on the right
Yeah.
side, yeah. And it does sort of go along with the rhythm of the fenestration on the existing left side to keep it in 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, going to 2 isn't horrible, but it just has a nice rhythm now.
Yeah.
And I did notice there's a couple of sliders on the back second floor. And, if it's not a deal breaker, but they might want to consider going to casements there. Just for the reasons we've discussed, and there's other in the past as far as if those tracks get gummed up when they're on the second floor, it can be very hard to get the windows open or clean out the tracks when they're so far above grade. So that's just something for them to consider if they might want to go to casements on those higher rear windows.
I have the same comment on the slide.
Yeah, I think the only additional comment I had was more of a question, because the front windows 1, 2, and 3, I don't really have an issue with the number 2, but then I also thought you could consider adding a horizontal just aesthetically to tie the window systems together. It would just be a mutton or a mullion. It was just not really a requirement, but just a thought to ask about. So, all right. Next, we have 1430 Ronald Drive, new addition. Comments from the board?
I didn't see a site plan. Did anybody else have one?
Site plan.
I assume we're within bounds. Other than that, I just had a comment on existing windows. It looks like the drawings are not showing existing windows on the garage and master bedroom, and just want to clarify that we're not doing any scope there, that those are to remain.
Okay.
I know comments.
Anything else on this one? No. Very good. That moves us to 45 South Rock Hill Road, new addition. Comments from the board, and I think Tracy is, has to recuse herself again.
Just had a couple of clarification items. With the extension of the new wraparound porch, it looks like there's a couple of windows that are existing that have a higher head height. And I just wanted to confirm how that porch ceiling is going to interact with those taller, higher head height windows. And then just also to a clarification that there's no work on the existing rear of the house.
Any additional comments?
No comments?
Just for the sake of the neighbors, looking at the back of the garage, it'd be nice if there was some sort of articulation or a window or something. Not required though. My opinion.
Yeah, there's a long blank facade there.
Yeah.
All right. I think then we can ask Tracy to come back, I believe. Thank you. Discuss that project. All right, next we have 1060 Summit Avenue. This is a new window.
No comment.
No comments?
No comment?
No comment.
It was good with this one as well. So we can move 1060 Summit to pre-approval. And then last one for the work session is 637 West Glendale, new construction.
I didn't have any comments on this one and would be okay voting on it if we wanted to move it up to a full submittal.
Yeah, I had the same comment. I just wanted to verify if the demolition of the house, if there's been a demolition request through HPC, because I have not seen it and the existing house is 80+ years old.
It's scheduled for December 9th. It's
Okay.
going to HPC.
Okay, just making sure that it's getting in there someplace. I know sometimes the meeting sequencing has people do things a bit out of sequence.
She ran in parallel.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Fine.
I didn't know if there was anything we should worth discussing on the front yard. It looked like, if I interpreted that correctly, it may not be. They had a tree that was, I think, undesirable or something along those lines. It just didn't seem like, I know a lot of the neighborhood there has got a pretty, there's a fair amount of planting in the front yard, so I just didn't know that would fit in if it was primarily turf and nothing else. It was really, and then I also, I didn't see the box checked to confirm it's not a floodplain either, front. I didn't know if that was relevant for our discussion today. Just on the permit application.
So my only comment on this one was consideration of additional window in bedroom number 3 or the office. I just, again, that was just something I would like to discuss. And that was really it for me, so.
It's nice.
All right. So with that, we can take a pause And we will resume our official meeting 5:30. If you're on Zoom, just wait and we'll be back on at that point and here in person as well. Thank you. Welcome everyone to the Architectural Review Board regular meeting. We finished our work session, so the regular meeting is now underway. Introduced Tacoa Bell and Jim Bailey with the city, and Carol Dunkey, Tracy Collins, our new board member, Jason Smith, David Yates, and myself, Bob Buckman, all volunteer architects. Sitting on the board, first item of business would be the review of meeting minutes from November 6th, and I believe 4 of us are present for that. So with that, may I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 6th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, meeting minutes are approved as noted. We also have one pre-approval. So I'll ask for a motion for 1060 Summit Avenue.
I move to approve the submittal for 1060 Summit Avenue.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? All right, so if you're here for 1060 Summit Avenue, you've been approved and you're free to go. At this point, if we read your project and you're here in person, we'll ask that you come up to the microphone and introduce yourself. And if you're on Zoom, to raise your Zoom hand, and Tacoa will add you to the discussion online. First project is a public hearing, 135 North Bompart Avenue.
Hello, Todd Miller, President,
Hi.
owner.
I just
All right.
have a scope verification question for you. On our agenda, it says replace driveway, add 2 columns near the street and renew front step landing.
Yeah, started out with this permit for the 2 columns, or meeting with you for the 2 columns. But my front steps were a previous work effort, and the bottom landing is not done. So it's being incorporated into this project to get it done.
Okay.
So I think that's, yeah, I got the notice literally a week ago about getting that done. And I'm gonna email, I think, Rodriguez to that effect, if this is good to go for today.
Okay, so is this the leading up to your front stair?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, and can you kind of describe what was going on there and what needs to go on? So just so I'm clear.
The previous project, the front steps project,
Okay, so the previous, it was.
it's a whole different permit that was already approved and already
The-
completed, except for the landing.
Okay, so it was already approved, already completed, and you're going to go ahead and finish it out the way it was approved. It just
Yes.
hasn't been done
Correct.
yet.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I just was trying to
No, I
understand what we're reviewing. So,
Yes,
okay.
that's right.
All right, that's fine.
All right, great. Anything else? All right, appreciate that. Is there anyone else present for a public hearing here that would like to make a comment on 135 North Bompart Avenue? Anyone online? With that, may I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve 135 North Bompart as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? All right, you're approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have 101 Mason Avenue, new door and light fixture.
Hi, Timberly Hund, Killing Studio Architects.
Welcome. All right, I don't think we had any comments. So it looks great. Thank you.
Great.
Public hearing.
Public hearing though. So is there anyone else present that wants to make a comment on 101 Mason Avenue online or in person? And seeing none, may I have a motion?
I move to approve 101 Mason Avenue as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? All right, you're approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Tracy is going to recuse herself. And the next project on our list is 239 Simmons Avenue.
I have one person on Zoom.
All right. Good evening. Hello. Garrett, if you're, yeah.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep. I
Okay.
think so. Yes, we can. Thank you.
Good deal.
All right. We had a few comments on your new addition.
Yes, no problem.
Carol, do you want to start?
Sure. I think a number of us had comments about the amount of uninterrupted siding that's on the front elevation on the new second floor. There's that kind of a big gap between the two windows, and then there's really no architectural interest at all in the gable area. It just is, needs something there. And then also too, I was wondering why you're using such a low slope when the existing slope fits so much better into the neighborhood. All of the other major front-facing gables on the street are 612 or higher. So I think this one particularly stands out being so low and then also so plain. And then the other concern is that it seems to be quite a large addition on the rear to be up on posts. And, typically that would need to be screened somehow with some sort of deck skirt. So there isn't just a large expanse of what's likely to be mud underneath there that's exposed to view.
It is, so it won't be exposed. This came up pretty quick with Tracy, and that will be on the drawing. It will be, so underneath the finished area, which will be upstairs, we're having the deck below, and that's going to be fully screened in. And then the bottom of the deck will be skirted with lattice. I believe we're going to use lattice on that to cover everything on the bottom, and then the deck portion will be fully screened in.
Okay, and so you'll be putting that deck skirt under the new addition on the rear and on the sides, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Everything will be closed in back there. And as far as the siding on the front, we were doing, so they just have the vinyl siding currently. We were trying, so the goal there was to match up, like from the windows on the bottom, we wanted to have as many or more windows on top. So we're doing, I believe in the front, we were doing the 3x5 on each side, the mold together 3x5s. I think that's what's on the drawing.
Right. The question isn't the size of the windows or the siding type. I understand that you're matching the existing siding, which is fine. It's the big blank area that's between the two groups of front windows, and also just the large expanse of plain siding that's up in the gable. I mean, usually there would be some sort of architectural interest there, like maybe adding a horizontal trim board at the bottom of the gable or a gable louver or something on both the front and the rear gables to just kind of add some interest to that area.
Okay. Yeah, we can add something there. That's no problem. Or I need to look into it, I believe. What about some kind of decorative like gable vent up there or something like that?
Well, yeah, I think one or more elements would be suitable.
Okay.
And then also too, can you give me some insight into why you're going with such a low roof slope?
Well, so kind of the main reason for that, the customer was fine with that. Right now they have the steeper roof because they have a ranch style with there's like a finished attic up there has like no space at all. So there's 6 people living in the house. So that's the main reason for the addition. And they wanted the normal size walls and everything to utilize the full length of the upstairs. As far as the roof slope, that's more of they wanted to get this done quickly and reasonably priced. The steeper roof was going to cost us a decent amount more.
Even a 612?
Yeah, it's the steeper it goes, the more expensive it is kind of what's going on there with our roofing department. So we use a couple of different people, but both companies that we sub that out to told us the same thing. So they have to do a lot more to get the steeper roof on there. So as far as that kind of tied in with our budget with the homeowner, so that's kind of where I did the best I could to work with cost in different areas and things like that. But what we did was try to match it all the way back, so we're not doing anything too crazy there. But
Yeah, it's just, I think neighborhood fit is an issue because it's just really not in keeping with the context. But I do think it would help if you would add some interest to that front gable. And I think maybe there were some comments about potentially revising the spacing of those front windows, or perhaps adding a window in between the two, just so they're to make the rhythm a little more like the existing first floor on the front, because we have this big wide expanse. So I did Bob or
Yeah,
David,
that was my comment. When I just thinking like on the front elevation with the 2 windows that are on the porch, if the spacing plan allows inside, could those windows up top move inboard to align with those, or to Carol's point, maybe a single double hung the same height and size as maybe as one of the half of the double would go in the middle of the gable, maybe in line with the bedroom door or something. Just a more attempt to add interest to that front elevation.
and I believe there's 2 bedrooms on the front elevation. Is that correct?
We got a revised plan today that the laundry is moved to the front left. But yeah,
Okay.
so you have a larger bedroom on the right and then a laundry on the left.
Okay, so I don't see a problem with being able to add like a single hung window there. I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, or or move the windows in. Just something just to break up that large expansive siding.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, just talk to Tracy and the homeowner.
Okay.
All right, I think. Was there any consideration given to adding another window in the bedroom? To me, I think in the revised plan, the front bedroom, if you added a window to the existing elevation or the front elevation, that would be fine. If not, consider adding one on the side elevation, just from not only the exterior but the interior as well. It seems like it would be a better space architecturally, was my comment. So adding a horizontal trim to the gable, I think that and a combination of a vent would probably help the front and back.
Okay.
If you guys wanted to keep the siding the same, that's fine. But I think that would definitely help provide interest. And with the roof pitch, I think the 612, I agree with Carol. At the same time, I'm not gonna vote against it because it's a 4 and 12, but 6 and 12, the steeper the roof, though, it's a little more expensive, but the roofing lasts a lot longer too, because the water gets off it quicker. So something just to consider for the homeowner long-term. So it's not just about the first upfront cost when it comes to roof slopes. Just
Okay.
wanted to share that thought. Personally, and then Jason, do you have anything to add?
No additional comments, no, it's.
Okay.
And maybe if, they need to have a conference with the homeowner about the exact preferences. We've kind of given them a list of options to revise that front elevation with the window spacing, adding a window, adding some interest in the gable, maybe to have a conference with homeowners about what they would like to do, and then see a revision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can run it by them as well. And at this point, I've been instructed if as long as it's nothing too crazy, they want to get whatever we need to do to get approved and get moving. That's kind of where the homeowner's at right now. So, and I don't think that what you asked is anything crazy. So we can make that happen.
All right. Well, I think with that, we would just table the vote on this. And if you can take in those items into account, and resubmit it, then we could do a final vote. I believe the drawings would have to be in by Monday.
Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah.
I can speak to Tracy, but I believe we could probably have that as long as it fits with her schedule. We could probably have that revised by tomorrow.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Garrett.
All right. Thank you guys for all the comments.
Bet. All right. Next, we have 5 Nagel Court new window.
Hello, my name is Tim Kelly. My wife Peggy and I have own 5 Nagel Court. We're trying to get new windows.
Great. Welcome.
Thank you.
One comment that we had kind of as a collective was that, would you consider by replacing these windows and getting rid of the stacked 4 lights, you change the character of the front of the home. And have you considered looking at, a mullion pattern that more resembles what's there now, or?
So that I'm sorry.
So right now your windows are double hungs with the horizontal lights.
Okay.
And by getting rid of those, you just go to more of a general double hung window with no pattern to it. And it changes the front of the house a lot. And didn't know if you had thought about doing something that looks more like the original.
Yeah, let's see, the builder did discuss that. I think it was just an expedient that it was that was easier. I don't really have I could go back to the builder and talk to him about that if that's necessary.
Maybe it's, a question of, from your viewpoint, I don't know if you discussed your preference with your wife and yourself, but I think the question was really, that's where it came from, right?
Yeah, I think from my wife's point of view is looking out. Maybe looking in, it might be a little bit more cosmetically beautiful, but when you're looking out, the cross beams and the horizontal things actually interfere with the view outside. So, you know, we're looking out from there out to the entire court. And so when we look outside, we see the kids playing in the court and stuff like that. So if we have an unobstructed view from our point of view, we actually haven't liked the cross members. You know, we would rather have a picture window.
Yeah. I think there was a question about the slider as well.
Yeah, on the rear of your house on the second floor,
Mhm.
you've got a couple of sliders proposed.
Mhm.
And I noticed you also have some new casements going in. And we just wanted to mention to you that sometimes sliders, especially when they're up on a second floor, it's hard to clean out those tracks.
Oh, okay.
So it can be difficult to operate the sliders, to open them if stuff accumulates in there like tree debris and that kind of thing. So, and it's hard to clean them out when they're up on the second floor. So we just wanted to mention that to you as a consideration in case you wanted to go to casements instead of sliders.
I think that was that was part of the solution for the egress.
Casements should meet egress. Yeah,
Be the same opening.
yeah.
So this would be like a pull up.
A casement is the ones
Oh,
that are
okay,
hinged
that's it.
on the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
see.
and you've got some other casements on your project. Those are the ones that are hinged on the side and then you operate them usually with a crank.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know which one. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we have some of those on the first floor now.
right.
Yeah, we could.
I mean, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have to decide right away. Maybe if we make a motion, we can make that an option for you to go to casements so you can, you know, discuss it with your wife and with your contractor. It's just something to think about.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, I think that was it. So, appreciate it. The feedback, and then I'll ask for a motion on 5 Nagel Court.
Make a motion to approve 5 Nagel Court with the option given to the applicant to swap out the slider windows with casements if they prefer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, you're approved. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we have 1430 Ronald Drive, new addition.
Hello, Bennett Federico. I'm a homeowner. My wife should be on via Zoom. This is
Okay.
Ed Stevens, architect, John Haloftis, contractor. So I think we win the award for having the most people here.
Yeah.
For sure. Welcome.
Thank you. Someone commented during the work session about not having a site plan.
Yeah.
I did want to say that our engineer was a little bit slow getting that to us. We were advised to submit before having that. I did submit it to City Hall on Monday with the document saying what it's for. I'm not sure why it didn't make it to you guys, but it was submitted and it had the stormwater mitigation in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious because I saw the site coverage is right at the limit.
I do have a copy of it if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, zoning will, I'm sure, you know, verify that we're within our setbacks and everything, but I just caught my eye to know that we're at 40% and that's the maximum, so.
Okay.
I was just like, wow, I wondered if the site was small or how we were meeting that number. It looks like you've got a lot of front yard, a lot of backyard, so. didn't know.
Yeah. Well, there's the site plan.
Yeah. I think the number's wrong.
That is
Site coverage, yeah,
pretty
doesn't
bright.
look like it's not at all. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Sure. Oh, and then I did have another comment. The drawings didn't show you've got an existing window in your garage and master bedroom.
That's my fault.
Okay.
guess I missed.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because we look at the elevation and the exterior, and
Yeah.
just want to make sure that
We
those
can fix
windows
that.
were still going to be there. Otherwise, we'd end up with a big blank wall. So,
Yeah, those are both gonna remain as is.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's all I had.
All right, I think that was it for the board, so thank you for clarifying those. With that, may I have a motion on 1430 Ronald Drive?
I will move to approve 1430 Ronald Drive with the clarification that the existing windows at the garage and master bedroom are to remain.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? All right,
Thank
they're approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Next, we have 45 South Rock Hill Road, new addition. Tracy.
Again. Hi, my name's Lou Fair. I'm the owner at 45 South Rock Hill Road.
Hi. Welcome. I think there was one comment.
Mine.
Question from Mr. Yates.
Yeah, hi. I just, very minor. Just wondering if the rear face of the garage facing the neighbor, just be nice to have some articulation or a window or something, just for the neighbor to look at a blank wall of vinyl.
Yes.
Or party board or whatever.
Yes, so in the garage, you can see there's the staircase and then there's a pretty good space for a workbench. So I want to protect the wall as much as I can, but I think what we would be willing to do is, you see there's a bathroom in the back of the garage that was going to be roughed in for future pool. So I think that bathroom would probably actually look good with a window in there. So I would be open to putting a window in that bathroom.
And maybe the bottom of the stairs, maybe too, to make it symmetrical.
Balance it out.
I guess I would need to see what it would look like there in the bottom of the stairs, because there's that landing there, right? Or it's right at the, yeah, I think I could probably agree to that.
I mean,
it would give some natural light up into the
the stairs,
the stairwells as well.
And that would balance your elevation too, to have the two windows instead of just. the
Instead of those
one.
one. Yeah, I'm open to that.
Okay. I just had a clarification item that everything on your existing house is to remain as is on the rear
Absolutely.
elevation.
Absolutely.
It's a,
No additional additions or anything to the back.
yeah,
Correct.
it's a beautiful house.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And just another, this is like a minor tweak item. Now that I'm looking more closely at this, I noticed that we have a porch addition that's going across here. And we have these windows here that have the higher head height. And it looks like maybe is that porch ceiling going to continue?
It is. So I actually looked at this a little bit further after hearing your comments about that. So I think because that the roof slopes down, it looks like it hits the top of that window, but you won't have that slant going down because the roof will actually be at the peak of it, where I think it should clear those windows.
So, yeah, and then the porch, there's going to be a ceiling of some sort on the porch.
There is. There's going to be we're going to match the same ceiling that's on the front of the porch. It's good. And so that the actual porch, the floor, that's not going across the back of the house. It's just the roof line that's going.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of if you're continuing the ceiling, making sure that ceiling isn't going to clip the top of those windows.
I don't believe it is, but I'm happy to have Tracy take a look at that.
Yeah, just to double check, because anyway, just after so many years of practicing architecture, when I just kind of think, wow, that's close. Let's just like really verify that. So, yeah, that just, yeah.
And I think if that was the case, I don't think it is, but I guess the option would be is to just to bring your window size down from that to accommodate for the roof then.
Or, maybe even just the ceiling height could be somehow tweaked or something, so you wouldn't have to revise your windows.
Right.
I think it would be a lot more expeditious and cost effective if you needed to just somehow tweak the ceiling height on the porch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, that's my only comment.
Yeah. The trims are gonna match the existing house, I
They are.
guess, scale wise.
They are.
Which is great. I think it's a nice looking project.
Yeah, we want it to look identical to the house. I wish we could get rough salt and cedar like they did back in 1910, but I think that's a little tough to find.
Yes. All right, anything else?
Nothing else here.
Great. With that, I will ask for a motion on 45 South Rock Hill Road.
I make a motion to approve 45 South Rock Hill Road with the following revisions: that the rear garage wall would get two small modest windows at the bottom of the stairs and the bathroom facing the neighbor's property, and that the owner will look with the architect to make sure that the roof lines clean up nicely at the intersections with the existing window heads.
Yes.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, you're approved as noted. Thank you.
Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. All right, we have Tracy back in. She's getting her steps in tonight.
Bit.
Log in the. Next project is 637 West Glendale, new construction. Hello, Donna. You are muted.
Unmute. Okay.
We had you.
Hello.
Hi, Donna. We've got you on our screen, but it looks like you're muted currently. Could you unmute?
I clicked it right here.
Oh, there you go. We got you.
You got me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Hi, Donna.
Hi.
All right. I think there was just a couple comments.
Okay.
Jason, you wanted to note something, I think.
Oh, I wanted to point out to think about the front yard and landscaping. It's a beautiful new project, and I was just thinking, there's a really nice plan from the arborist here about what's going to be able to remain. Just some visual interest to match the character of the streetscape would be nice to consider.
Were you able to hear that, Donna?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not privy to a landscape plan. I don't know if you all, you don't have anything, do you, in front of you? I don't think he submitted.
No.
Yeah.
I think we might have a tree preservation.
That's
Tree
preservation.
You just got the tree. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a copy of that in front of me. It might be in, I don't know that I have that. So are we gonna, let's see, if I look at the proposed site plan, I don't see those two front trees. You know what I mean? If you look at the existing, there are two little trees on the drawing right there.
Yeah.
It says to be removed. So you must be preserving the ones down the side and the back. Okay?
Yep.
So what are you thinking? Are you thinking that he should have some more at the street? And I don't know why he's not keeping these.
Yeah.
Regrading some a little bit, not much though.
Yeah. It's just a comment for considerations. There's one there marked as poor condition. And
Right.
to do something with the new project that kind of keeps some of the character of the planting that maybe is now in poor condition that matches the rest of the streetscape could be a nice thing to think of.
Yeah, well, I would want him to do it that way too. So I don't know what he has in mind as far as the final landscape, but I'll talk to him about that.
Yeah. Because it actually looks like the tree that's just to the right of the existing front porch is a 32-inch caliper tree, but I don't see a 32-inch caliper on the tree plan.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's maybe just a typo or what, but it'd be a shame to lose that large tree if it's in okay condition.
Right, unless, what I'm trying to see is what he's doing with the grade here. I have I printed out a half copy, so it's a little harder to read, but I'm trying to see if he's moving this grade quite a bit, and it looks like he is. If you look between the two little site plans, and I'm wondering if they're moving it enough that they don't think they can preserve and save that tree. Okay. They're really regrading the site quite a bit. You see that? They're creating all your swale and everything on the other side. Anyway, and there might be some issues with drainage over there. And I look at the stormwater dry well that we have, so yeah, I'll see if I can find out about that. I'll talk to him about that. We didn't talk about the trees on the property, and he takes care of getting that tree study. Okay.
I think the only other comment I made, one about considering another window in bedroom.
Yeah,
Three?
bedroom or the study? I thought you said the study.
Well, either the office or the bedroom.
I mean the office. Right.
Yeah, sorry. I think either could benefit. But if one or the other, I don't know if you have a preference or be willing to consider, so that's why I wanted to ask.
Oh, well, I think that wall is a short wall. It's the shortest wall in the room. I'm not sure if somebody would want to put like bookcases along there or put a sort of like a nice credenza or something along that wall. What if we did some windows up high, like a transom style?
Sure.
Kind of like what.
Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of helps from the exterior and the interior, so.
Yeah, well, it lets him have a little bit more light in there because he's not going to.
Exactly.
And so.
Exactly, yep, I agree.
A lot of light from the front windows, so if we put those in there, it doesn't kill the space. It allows the buyer to use that wall in some fashion. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
How about we do that? And I might ask him to make them a little not taller, but wider maybe. Because the ones over at the master, they're kind of smaller, and we think about that around the furniture. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. I don't think there were any other additional comments.
Okay.
So we could read it into the motion.
Do we gotta move this move this to a final?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right. With that, I'll ask for a motion on 637 West Glendale.
I'll make a motion to approve 637 West Glendale with the understanding that the grading will be reviewed with the possibility of preserving the existing large tree, and that small transom style windows will be added to the side elevation of the office.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right. Donna, you're approved as noted. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You guys have a good Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Donna.
Thanks,
You as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. The adjournment of the regular session, but we have an executive session to vote on EV charging stations. So that's where we're at on our agenda. And I think we were given a handout tonight. This was from November 11th.
This is up there on the top.
Thank you.
I'm seeing 20th on mine.
Well, I'm reading that the slide.
Sorry, thank you.
But yeah, it was printed on the 20th. And I think really the question was what ARB is could provide any comments, not necessarily a formal vote. So I know it's been a little bit since we talked about this. And for some of us, maybe,
Joining.
just joining, it's all new, but I think, we could have a discussion. I don't know if anyone wants to say anything specific.
I think as we were discussing previously, there was concerns that requirements or mandates to have EV ready incorporated into existing buildings with some sort of threshold might create an undue hardship on people who were putting on additions, maybe to age in place. They might not be driving very long, and are we really going to make them go to the expense of having an EV charger? Or if someone gets hit with a bunch of storm damage, we wouldn't want to add to their difficulties if they're sweating how much the insurance is going to pay, and now all of a sudden they're at some monetary threshold that's going to require an EV charger. I think it's great. I support EVs, but I don't think mandating it for existing buildings is the thing to do. All new ground up construction of a new home, sure, put it in there. And I do think that as far as the safety concerns, when the city adopts the new version of the electrical code, which I understand is in process, that a lot of those safety issues will be addressed with that code adoption and won't require any, separate standalone ordinance to cover that. So as far as I'm concerned, going ahead and rolling it out commercially or for new buildings seems like the thing to do, but I think that it's too undefined to risk having a requirement put an undue hardship on existing building owners.
Yeah, I agree with your comments. I don't know if we should be putting this on existing residential homes or requiring it. And then in the effort of modernizing our code, which I think this is where this code change is coming from, I think it would also be wise to start looking at making new homes also solar ready. I know the city of St. Louis requires that for new construction, and I think that would be another way to kind of get the sustainability features addressed that city council's attracted to right now.
I agree.
No, I agree with that. Especially with the solar ready, and and car charger ready is also not. It's pretty affordable just to have an extra conduit ready to go.
Yeah.
Built in.
Well,
Right, EV ready for residential.
I just, what strikes me is it says, oh, well, it costs about $3,000. Okay, well, that's $3,000 this year. And when you're getting into an existing residence, some people you may have a longer conduit run. You may get into a situation where you might have to upgrade the size of your panel. I think there's a lot of potential follow-on there that could inadvertently cause a hardship for some homeowners. And, I think maybe if you're thinking in terms of signing a contract to put a $250,000 addition on a house, well, that might not sound like much. But then to me, reframing it, $3,000 is $3,000. I mean, if you think of going to the ATM and drawing out $3,000 in $100 bills, and count that down on the counter and think about what you can pay for. School supplies for your kids, school clothes, a mortgage payment, medical insurance. $3,000 to me is a lot of money. And then at 6%, the debt service on that the first year alone is another $180. So I tend to think of it that way. And I think as, someone who's not getting any younger and lives in a modest size old home, these costs add up. And I wouldn't want it to be a chilling effect on somebody repairing or remodeling their home so they can stay in it and keep our existing modest-sized homes in our community because they are a valuable asset. We want to keep socioeconomic diversity. But when we remove those smaller homes, we're losing that. And those smaller homes are not coming back. Nobody's building them. They're a valuable resource. And what we see coming through HPC month after month is demolition requests for these houses. And we only see the ones that are 50 years old or older. So there's a lot of the smaller houses that are less than 50 years old that are coming down. And I just really wouldn't want to have a chilling effect on somebody remodeling their house, repairing their house, so they can stay there and keep the house in good condition. And, you know, we know the way costs are going up. If something costs $3,000 this year, it'll be $5,000 next year. And in a few years after that, it'll be 10,000. I mean, that's, you know, go to the grocery store, right? We all see that. So those are my concerns.
Was the proposal, had it defined EV ready or EV charging with certain amperages? Because there is such a thing as EV charging off of, you know, low amperage, which is not even the premium you described. It just is a thought. I mean, maybe that's getting into the gray territory, but to your point, there's maybe is a little bit of flexibility in some of the goals that they have there.
Yeah, I don't know how, when they're talking about defining this by the requirement being triggered at some sort of financial parameter, like a cost figure, like what determines a major remodel? Because, you know,
It's not clearly defined.
yeah, and then too, when you think in terms of that, if somebody were to say, okay, we're going to define a major remodel as 50% or more of the house value. Okay, when I think about that, I think, okay, well, in a way that seems egalitarian, but then somebody with a huge house can put $1.5 million wing on their house and they wouldn't be required to do that. When somebody who lives in a $200,000 house, I mean, they put on an addition, anything, and they're going to be forced to do it. And they're probably people who are going to be least likely to go out and buy new cars or new EVs. So when I look at it that way, I'm like, okay, so those people can put $1 million addition on their house and the city isn't going to say, you have to do this. But someone who lives in a modest size house, basically anything they do, they're going to have to. And that hits me wrong. I just don't really, I think the intent was to be fair, but I don't think the effect will be fair. It would be the people who could least afford it and probably least likely to use it are going to be the ones who are forced to do it at a lower threshold, relatively speaking. So, you know, I do think that if, you know, the city were to decide to go forward with some sort of requirement, there would need to be a lot of careful thought given to not have unintended bad consequences for people of modest means and in modest homes.
Personally, I think there's a difference in a commercial requirement and a residential one. I'm kind of on the page of, you know, it makes sense to require it for new builds on the commercial side and maybe some renovation scale on commercial projects, but residential, I wouldn't, to me, I think if someone wants to add EV to their house, they can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
At any point in the future. To make it a requirement for single family residential specifically, I don't see the value in that because as a requirement. So that's my 2 cents.
I tend to agree. I think there's no safety, protocol with that, which is usually what we write a lot of our requirements around. And frankly, not everyone's going to want an EV, and why would you force them to do that if they're not even going to have one?
All right. Well, if there's no more comments, then I think that ends the.
Is that it? We have to, okay. I didn't know if we had to like. Really-
We'll write up those comments, and I think that's the sort of input they're looking for. And we'll to take, so council can consider the next steps. Unless there was any other considerations for architectural integration, or whether or not you want to see these when they're submitted, or the compatibility, or.
Yeah, I just, I think that architecturally, speaking, as far as aesthetics, I don't feature them having that much impact. It's just another thing, we were discussing just briefly, is sometimes people, if they feel like there's being requirements imposed upon them that they don't want, they try to circumvent that by not getting permits, which is not in anybody's best interest, because getting permits is about protecting safety and health and welfare. So that's another potential chilling effect, I think, that we would want to avoid, as far as people thinking, oh my gosh, if I do this work, I'm going to have to pay X number of dollars for something I don't want. Well, gee. So, that's another thing to consider.
Yeah, I mean, as far as location, I assume it would be required to go either in the garage or on the side yard on the driveway. So, don't put it out like where you put your free library.
Yeah.
On the front, on the front, on the main street. Don't put it there, but that's written in the requirement.
Share. Community.
I guess you could. Yeah, right. Free charging. Take some
Next to
electrons.
the mailbox.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks all.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Hello.
Hi, this is Jamie. Can you hear me?
Jamie, you're coming up as on the screen as your Zoom user.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's my new name.
Welcome, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi. Hi. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you thanks, to share my gratitude for your conversation and for your careful consideration with the nuance of what we're talking about with, including EV charging for some renovations or new garages or new builds. And I really think it's important that we kind of take a glimpse into the future. And obviously we all know that construction costs while we're doing a project, can be lower as opposed to going back in and trying to retrofit something. So I think in the long run, what we're trying to do is help people save money down the line, not looking at this at all in a way to burden folks, but trying to just take a glimpse into the future and get folks ready for what is on the horizon. There's a lot of discussion yet to be had, and of course we haven't ironed out all of the wrinkles and the details. But I just kind of wanted to share that perspective as well. That we're just really want to take a look at how to encourage this and encourage folks to make some changes when they're in the midst of a project, instead of either for themselves a few years later or for the next homeowner. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference between encourage and mandate.
Yes.
Yes, and there's not just a whole lot of gray area there. There's a difference between encouraging and requiring. So if there's some middle ground, I'd be glad to know what it is. So, but yeah, I just think that we need to very carefully consider how this is rolling out. And I really do appreciate the opportunity to comment. And I think that it's very important to the community to kind of engage the resources you have in your boards and commissions. So I know I appreciate it. And I think that, you've got good professional resources that you can consult for free. So it's a win all the way around. And I do thank the mayor and the council and the city manager for consulting with us.
I agree. I second that. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jamie. All right, with that, we're officially adjourned. Thank you all.